Of 5 is 2.36, and I'm just showing you that the square root of 5 and the square root of 5 is 1. So square root of 5 is 2.236 with a bunch of decimals, but basically when you put them over each other, it's the same number, so that any number over itself is divided by itself is 1. Alright, so I have 2 root 5 times square root of 5 or square root of 5. So 2 times the square root of 5 is just 2 root 5 for the top. On the bottom, I have square root of 5 times square root of 5. Remember, I have the square root of the inside numbers times each other. So I have square root of 5 times 5. There's 2 there on the square root, so I can pull out one of them, which is 5. So I have 2 root 5 over 5. Okay. Here's another example. I want you to simplify this right here. 5 root 10 over 10 root 3. So first I'm going to simplify the whole numbers. Divide the top and bottom by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay, and then I keep the stuff inside the square root. So I have root 10 over 2 root 3. Now I need to get rid of the square root on the bottom. Therefore I'm going to times the top and bottom by square root of 3, which they did right there. 10 times the square root of 10 times the square root of 3 for the top. And the bottom I have 2 root 3 times the square root of 3. And so the top, we just times the inside factors by each other. So it's square root of 10 times 3, or 30. And in the bottom, I have the whole number, 2, times the square root of 3 times 3. 3 times 3. So since there's 2 3's, I can cross these out on the inside and take one of the 3's outside the radical. So at the bottom we have 2 times 3. On the top we still have square root of 30. 2 times 3 is 6. So the answer is root 30 over 6. Here we're simplifying an equation. Square root of 5 times square root of 4. Okay. Times the insides together. So that's square root of 5 times 4, or 20. 20 breaks down into 2 times 10, which breaks down into 5 times 2. So those are all my prime numbers. I have 2 times 5 times 2 is equal to 20. So I can write that out. Square root of 2 times 2 times 5. I have a group of 2, so I can pull out those as 1, 2 on the outside of the radical, and times it by the square root of 5. Alright, here I have the expression a times the root of 3 times b times the root of 6. The outsides times each other, so it's a times b times the square root of 3 times 6. So 3 times 6 stays under the square root. I can break down 6 further into 2 times 3. So it's really 3 times 2 times 3. So it's AB times the square root of 3 times 2 times 3. And there's a set of 3's on the inside. So I can take one of those 3's out of the radical. 3 times AB. There's a 2 left on the inside. So it's 3AB times the square root of 2. Here we have 5 times the square root of 2a times the square root of 5. Now, there's basically like a 1 times the square root of 5 on the outside. So the whole number 5 times 1 is 5. Because 1 times anything is itself. So there's always a 1 there. So 5 times 1 is 5. Then we have the factors on the inside times each other. 2a times 5, which is 10a. So it's 5 to the square root of 10a.